Hi, everyone. I can't believe I'm about to say what I'm about to say. I did not even think this would be possible a few months back, but Orange County Soccer Club are the champions of the USL Championship. We're excited. We're here to party. We've got a lot of special things going on tonight, and we're ready to do this. Welcome to the podcast of champions. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast.
This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, the first and only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. Follow us on Twitter at OCSC_SoccerCast or on Facebook at Orange and Black Soccer Cast.
How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to a party episode of the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, the podcast of your 2021 USL Championship champions, Orange County Soccer Club. I'm going to bring him on, the man who started this journey with us. We've been waiting for this day where we can claim we are the podcast of champions. That's Dylan from Counterline Coalition. Dylan, man, I heard you're tired, but how are you doing, man?
Yes! Woo! We won the cup. I'm doing so good. I'm so tired. I've had like 12 hours of sleep since Saturday morning. We won the cup, and this is basically it's been like a bender since Saturday, so it's gonna get messy.
It's gonna be an interesting episode. Let me say that because I think all of us are ready to celebrate, even some of the people that maybe aren't Orange County Soccer Club fans at heart. But we'll get to all this stuff. Let's get to one of those that is sort of an Orange County fan, but sort of a San Diego fan at this point. He's got the bubbly going. He's ready to celebrate with us. That's Alan down in San Diego, man. How are we doing, my man? We missed you last week.
Yeah, I was. I got my third jab and was. It kicked my butt, so I was not in the podcasting mood. I would have been terribly boring and drab, and that would have been terrible to set to because I know previewing that finals was going to be a big podcast. But things are good. Got a chance to watch it on the flight home from Thanksgiving, and I'm celebrating that there are tons of fans out there who've been following this team since you could take couches to the game and bring your own beer. So I know there's a lot of fans who've been waiting for this for a very long time. Coaching staff, Chapel's been with the team for a while as well. So I'm celebrating that people are celebrating. So congratulations to the team and the front office, but most importantly, the supporters.
Awesome. Let's head up north and a little bit to the west to the good luck charm for Orange County. He joins Orange and Black Soccer Cast, and in his first year, they bring home the USL Championship Cup. That is Brad up in Reno. Brad, can we call you the good luck charm now officially, now that they've sealed in this championship?
I mean, duh. It's all me. It's nothing to do with the team. It's just, one day Reno folded and I'm like, well, who should I take to a championship on my back end? Well, my back's not as sore as I thought it would be from the experience.
It was an amazing experience this season. We've had our highs, we had our lows, and then the ultimate high to end the season. Let's bring on the man that we're bringing in. He's going to give us all the tactical analysis of this match. And again, probably should be a permanent member of this podcast the number of times he's been on. That is Mr. USL Tactics himself, John Morrissey. John, welcome back to the show, man. We've got a seat for you here anytime, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, love breaking down these games. It was certainly a fun one with a lot going on. So happy to be basically an honorary co-host at this point.
Yes, honorary co-host and good luck charm as well, because we brought you in for the playoff run and we went undefeated in the playoffs. I mean, we didn't lose, which is awesome. We said this is going to be a party, so we actually sent it out to some of the members of the supporter group and the fandom to come and jump on the podcast with us. And we got a couple people that decided to test their time here with us on this podcast. Let's do this. Let's go with the man who sits right behind the boards there quite often, pretty much every match, and now star of our all new intro video celebrating the championship. And that's Russell. Russell, how are we doing, my man?
It's the culmination of 3 dreams. We won the championship. I've been featured on ESPN, and the ultimate, I've made the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. So it's been a great 3 days.
It's an amazing 3 days for everyone, and we appreciate people like you, like Dylan, and all those other fans that made the trip out there to Tampa Bay or St. Petersburg, wherever the Al Lang Stadium is. But we know that was not an easy trip for anyone that made that trip, being that it was Thanksgiving weekend and 1 week to buy your tickets and book your hotels and whatever else you had to do. So congrats to you again. Congrats to Dylan and everyone else. You guys were all amazing there representing County. One last person I want to introduce onto the show, first time on the show, Mr. Tyler Griffith. He's got his drink ready for this episode. He's ready to party. How you doing, man? Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks. I'm doing really well. Similar to what Russell said, it's been a surreal few days. I keep waking up and looking online, and I'm like, oh wow, we actually did that. That's incredible. We didn't get to go to the last game. My fiance was really sick, but watching it at home and being able to chat with everyone online, it was incredible. And it's unlike anything I felt before in terms of sports fandom. So I'm happy to be here to party with you guys.
And the thing that makes this amazing, I know Orange County has had champions in the past with the Angels, but when you have a team like Orange County, there's this intimacy with the club. You get this real close partnership with the players, with the staff. I mean, all of us have spoken. I would assume even John has spoken to someone from the club at some point in his illustrious career. Who knows? But anyone that actually makes their way to Championship Soccer Stadium, you get opportunities to speak with the players, to speak with the front office, to speak with the coach staff. I was speaking with one of County Line Coalition's members, Jen. We were talking about how much of an experience her son has had throughout the years interacting with players such as Andre Rawls and this current group of players. And it's amazing when you hear these types of stories on that. But let's talk about this. Championship for Orange County. Let me ask everyone here really quick, yes or no answer. 3 months ago, did you think this was possible, Dylan?
No.
We all know Dylan was upset about the coaching change at that point, so we knew he was on the negative.
This is revisionist history. It's not because I didn't think Chaplow deserved a shot. And when this was announced, and I said I'd back him, and I did, and I even got a handshake on Sunday morning at 2 a.m. or something. He's earned it. But no, I did not think we would be here even a month ago.
Alan, what about you?
Yeah, I don't think anyone but diehard Orange County soccer fans would imagine that this was possible a month and a half ago. I think, it seemed like San Diego would have to lock up for second place, and then all of a sudden Orange County just started playing this new brand of soccer. So that was my one word. It was all hyphenated, in case you didn't know. It's hard to tell on audio form. That's my one word answer. I did not think it would happen.
What about you, Mr. Bradley?
I don't even think that that diehard Orange County fans even thought that they were even gonna make it. I'm new around town, but I didn't even think that we were gonna make it past the first round, let alone a home game.
I'm gonna have to take away your good looks charm status there, Brad, for the negative thoughts on that first round. Russell, you sit there really close to the action, and we've seen you interact with some of the opposing players recently. But did you think this was possible, that Orange County would be drinking out of and lifting up that USL Championship Cup at the end of the season?
I could have only dreamed of the cup, but I will say this. 2 things. One, the night they fired Braden, I knew at the game. I knew that he was going to get fired in my heart, and it gutted me, but I could tell on, from where I said I could tell it was going to happen. And I knew before the San Diego game, and I was there, and I walked by you, Alan, and I said hi, and you just kind of looked at me because we were all masked up. But my son and I went to that game, and I knew watching the warm-up that the team had turned, and I knew they were going to make the playoffs. I didn't know how far they would go, but I knew they were going to turn it around and make it to the postseason. So that's what I knew in my heart. Everything else has just been gravy.
What about you, Tyler? Did you think this was happening?
No. 3 months ago, if you would have asked me, I would have said no. Seems like every game we're watching, they're giving up leads late. They can't hold on to anything. They're dropping points left and right. It felt like like they were teetering and they were just going to fall off a cliff at some point. And then the switch happened like in mid-August, I think, and the team just turned around and suddenly they're controlling their own destiny to get into the playoffs, which I had no idea was going to happen. I figured we'd have to rely on 3 or 4 other teams breaking one way or another to even get into the playoffs. And then come that last weekend on decision day, we ended up with a home game, and it was better than anything I could have imagined. And then the playoffs happened. So glad it turned out the way it did.
Let me ask the smartest person in this room here in this video, and that's Mr. John USL Tactics himself. Did you think at the time when you see the switch over to Braden Cloutier to Richard Chaplow, does Orange County have a shot at getting to this point and being crowned champions?
So I was critical of the coaching change at the time. I obviously did the picks every single round of the playoffs, and I picked against Orange County in each of their last 3 matches. So maybe I don't actually know what I'm talking about because I've just been wrong about this team at every stage.
Hey, I love the honesty there. I love the honesty, John. Hey, there was one person at the beginning of the playoffs that had faith, even more faith than you, Brad. If anyone watched the USL playoff preview show, there was one person that picked Orange County. That was Mr. Joe Malfa. And we invited him on the episode tonight, but unfortunately he was booked. But he did take time to send us a video to share why he picked Orange County and how he feels of this. So we'll play that video right now.
Orange and Black Soccer Cast, what's up? Congratulations to everybody on the show and to all the fans. Ray reached out, Joe Malfa here, broadcaster for the league, just to kind of comment about having believed in OC since the beginning and picking them and maybe gloat a little bit and say, I told you so, but Ray, that's not my style. I'm not going to do an I told you so here. This is more of a thank you to the team for making me look for once like I know what the heck I'm talking about. Where do I start here? A few things I wanted to say. First of all, the game itself, despite picking the team from the beginning, I would be lying if I said I thought the game was going to go the way it was going to go. I had this pegged as 1-1 to extra time tight game, but shout out to Ronaldo Damas for doing the way he did early on, and Coningas the free kick. I mean, 3-0 at the half. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Even you guys as the diehard fans who do this podcast and follow this team, I think you'd be lying to yourselves if you said you thought it could be 3-0 at the half. Win, sure. But 3-0 at the half, that was something. I think everybody was stunned. That crowd was stunned for sure. The Rowdies players were stunned for sure. It was certainly a good way to punctuate the way the last run of the season had gone. Ray, you asked me why I believe in this team. To elaborate a little bit more on that playoff preview show. Obviously, things were a little bit constrained for time, and Devin and Gary had to get their pieces in. The main couple things I said then were, look, it was a team that was injured for a lot of the beginning of the season, and everybody was back, and they added some more guys in. It was a team that played their best against other good teams. They had the best record or most points earned among other playoff teams, among teams in the playoffs. So nobody else in the playoffs had more points against playoff teams than Orange County. So they played their best against the best teams. They were on the 5-game winning streak entering the playoffs. They had only given up 1 goal in a month. And there was just something about the team ever since Chaplow took over. I personally don't believe that Cloutier did a bad job, and I think I was, like others, was maybe surprised by that move. In hindsight, you understood it a little bit. He was just dealt a bad hand with all the injuries, and this team would have been in a much different spot, maybe if not for the injuries. But Chaplow came in and just played to the strengths of this team. Every line was just clicking on all cylinders. The back line didn't allow anything through. The midfield was just smothering, and then Damas up top scoring every time you turned your head. So everything was clicking, and it just reminded me of a team that would get it done in knockout football. Like, maybe they wouldn't have necessarily, if you read a simulation of the regular season 100 times, they probably would never finish above second place in the Pacific Division in any of those. So they finish about where they should have finished. But knockout football is a different story. It's a team built for that, and they really excelled in that, and I'm glad that they went on to win it. Congratulations to the team, the fans, and I'd say most importantly the fans. I mean, it's a great thing that's going on right now in USL Championship, the growth of the league and everything that's going on. And still the biggest part of it, to me, has to be the fans. It's great to see a lot of young, great players coming through that are moving on to bigger leagues. They're moving on to Europe, like a Jonathan Gomez with Louisville. And these are great things to see for the growth of the league. They're going to be in a video game in a couple of years that deal with Konami. Everything's going in the right direction, but for me, it's still all about the fans. It's great to see at this level, second division in the U.S., the intimacy between the crowd and the team. They're there every game, whether it's a Wednesday, a Tuesday, a Saturday. They're singing the names. They're all out there, and it's great to see that tight-knit community fan support. So whenever a team like this gets the trophy for the first time in their team's history, now over a decade, it's great for the fans. You guys have earned it, and it's great to see that it's not just, with no offense to these teams, it's great to see that it's not just the Phoenixes and the Louisvilles of the world who are getting there and doing it. You want to see it spread around and see that parity in the league. And all year long this year, we talked about how much parity there was around the league. So to see this, to see Orange County go ahead and do this, it was very nice. I said it was nice because I picked him, so it didn't make me look smart for once. But all in all, it was a great season, great game. Everything about it was good. Arrows pointing up for the league for next year, for this team for next year. And again, to the guys for having me on. I appreciate that. And apologies again for not being able to do it live, but I at least want to send you in this video and enjoy the off season. We're only, as I check my watch, let's see, November 30th. We are about 2.5, 3-ish months away from getting the ball rolling again. So looking forward to when that day comes.
So that was Joe Malfa, who is a commentator of USL. One correction I want to make is he mentioned the video game form of USL in a couple years, but that's actually going to be in a couple months. But I love when he talks about, no one thought that Orange County would be up 3-0 at halftime. If anyone says, I thought that was going to be the case, I'm going to tell you right now, you're lying. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to the whole world. And I want to see, does anyone on here will anyone say that they thought Orange County would be up 3-0 at halftime against Tampa Bay before the kickoff? See that quiet right there? So how excited were we when we went up 1-0 and then went up 2-0 and then went up 3-0? And we're going to talk about the Rakovsky penalty save early in the match, but how excited were we when we got up to 3-0 before halftime? Dylan, I'm going to go to you. Go to you first because you've been the longest on the show. And you were there.
Oh my God. I'm at a loss for, it's been 2 days on my, I didn't think in no universe would I have expected 3-0 Orange County at any point in that match. 3 goals for Orange County, would not have expected that. And even before we started the score, Tampa gets a penalty and I'm thinking, well, all right, we made it 20 minutes into this match and whatever, I'm just glad to be here, and I had a great time up to that point, and the rest is history. 3-0 at the half, 3-1 at full time.
And by the way,
shutting down Lucky.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if anyone you recognize the face of Dylan here, yes, he was the shirtless man up there with the Orange County supporters there at the end of the match on the ESPN stream. John, I want to go to you. Tactically, how did Orange County get to a 3-0 score line? Run us through that first half. I know you could spend an hour on the first half, with tactics, but give us the brief, the Cliff's Notes version of that first half and how Orange County got a 3-0 lead.
So, I mean, despite the scoreline and the offense really being the thing, the defense is what carried them to that point. I mean, as usual, you saw that sort of 4-4-2 look. Eric Calvillo playing a lot higher than usual, even really next to Damas in the defensive setup. And they weathered the storm against Tampa. Tampa, as a result of that solid defense, had to keep pushing their wingbacks and their central midfielders higher up the pitch. Well, if you're Orange County, you win it back. Suddenly that gives you a whole lot of room to break through. And they're able to find Calvillo in transition, work it through Alowski. Suddenly you're getting these breaks. You're able to catch Tampa off balance, and then boom, Ronaldo Damas strikes. And then again, he just finds these little pockets of space in these transitional moments where Tampa is caught out a little bit because they have to press as many men possible as they can muster to really break this team down. And it came back to bite them. I do want to shout out that penalty save. Complete momentum changer. Tampa was starting to really catch a foothold in the final third, show some ability to break down this Orange County side. And that really demoralized them just enough to let OC back in it, let them push their fullbacks a little bit higher, pressure what Tampa was trying to do in their wide buildup. And it saw Orange County to a really commanding lead that Tampa just couldn't recover from against what I would declare to be one of the top 2 defenses in the league, at least.
I love it. You do give a quick version of your tactics. Ladies and gentlemen, follow and go review what John has said on Twitter, because yes, he has a lot of detailed information on this match on Twitter to share with you. I want to get to the goalkeepers because there was, 2 drastically different goalkeepers in this match. You had Rakowski, who was probably, if not one of the most informed goalkeepers in the league heading into this match. And then you have Tampa with a goalkeeper who has played very little. So I want to try and really get into, did that make a difference in this match? But let me just open it up. Does anyone, whoever wants to speak first can get it. Does anyone have a thought on this 3-0 lead and how Orange County achieved that in the first half?
Yeah, the swinging point of this game, which I know we touched on already, definitely that penalty kick save. You kind of were asking yourselves before the game even started, what Orange County shows up? Is it the veteran-led Orange County, or is it, the nervous jitters playing against the East in the East after 2 long games with extra time and penalty kicks? And Rakowski answers the question stunningly with a huge save, and then Tampa Bay breaks down, and Lasso grabs a yellow card, and all these things happen to where Orange County can just automatically be 3 goals in the lead and out of nowhere almost. And they did it, as I was talking to you guys earlier in the week, they did it in 3 different ways. The first one was capitalizing on a mistake. The second was expert passing and on a counter attack. And then the third one was just a beautiful set kick. And we've seen that all season long. So just getting to see the accumulation of all that in one game is absolutely stunning, and just was a brilliant first half performance for Orange County.
So we'll talk about these goalkeepers, but through our time as a podcast, we've built some really great friendships with some other podcasts, and we had some of our friends send some messages to share with you fans. So we're going to go and play. We have a few clips, but we'll play the first one right now.
Hey, it's Marissa from Fairweather Podcast. I want to send my huge congrats and big hugs to everyone involved with OCSC, from the Orange and Black Soccer Podcast, as well as those who work in the behind the scenes, PR, marketing, all of those in the front office of Orange County Soccer Club. While I am a San Diego Loyal fan and was rooting slightly for Tampa Bay, I'm happy to see the title in the West, and I wish you all a happy holiday and take care.
Hi folks, my name's David Edgar. I'm the host of Heart and Hand, the Rangers podcast, and I would just like to congratulate you on your title, a fantastic victory. I watched the game on the link that you sent out and it was very, very well deserved. Thank you very much for being our partners over in the US, and it's certainly something that more and more people over here are keen to follow. So congratulations from all of the team here at Heart and Hand, and I'm sure I can speak for the Rangers support when I say well done. 55 for us and a title for you. Friends with success. Take care. Bye-bye.
What's up, Orange and Black Soccer Cast? Congratulations on the big USL Championship win. Congratulations to Ray, and congratulations to Dylan and everyone else who's part of the podcast. Congratulations to all the fans. It couldn't have happened to a more deserving fan base. And congratulations to some former Reno 1868 FC players. I'm talking Aiden Apodaca, Eric Calvillo, Seth Kasipli, and Brent Richards. Congrats, guys. You all earned it.
Hello, everybody. This is a little special message, I guess we could say. I was here to congratulate the Orange County Soccer Club and, of course, all of our OCSC friends on winning the USL Cup. Didn't look like it was going to happen for them this season from their hardships halfway through the year when RGVFC were able to win against them on the road, but they came through, had the second seed in the West, and, well, I mean, the rest is history, knocking off the first round, second round, and, of course, even ugly San Antonio FC to get to the final. Fantastic.
Hey guys, this is James from Heart and Hand, the Rangers podcast. I want to say a massive congratulations to Orange County on winning the USL Championship. An incredible achievement. What a year 2021 has been for both our clubs, and long may the success continue for both of us. Here's to an even more successful 2022 for County.
So I know Dylan in the chats, I think you were the one that mentioned it. You loved that at the end there, that 4-county from James there from Heart and Hand. It's awesome to see the Rangers fans get involved, willing to watch this match, even though it was like, 12:30 in the morning, I think their local time. I think there's this real interest from Ranger fans watching Orange County, and that's pretty amazing. I want to jump on. I want to talk to Russell here really quick. You were at the match. You saw that save from Patrick Rakowski. How important was that save in your eyes for Orange County's title victory here?
You know, I'm glad you asked, because when we were looking at that, and I've rewatched the match, as you can imagine, a lot. I was sitting right behind the bench, and so I could hear a lot, and I can usually hear a lot from my home seat, but like it was way different sitting behind the bench. And I personally was like 100% confident that it was going to go left and that Rack was going to make the save. And in my mind, as I was calculating it through when I watched him and I was watching, it was clear in my mind he had a lot of match time with us having 2 games go to kicks from the mark. He had a lot of match time to hone his skill and confidence and, being ready to take on a penalty kick. And that advantage for a goalkeeper to take that many kicks from the mark over the last 2 weeks cannot be understated. So I don't think there was anyone on the bench that was like, oh my God, this is it. Everyone was like, yeah, he's got this. That was my viewpoint. And I heard Richard, and I didn't talk to him specifically about this after the game, but I heard Richard even made the same comment that he felt like that Patrick was going to make the save. But like you could feel at that moment that the Rowdies fans felt like they had this big advantage, but at that spot where we were, it didn't feel like there was something to worry about.
John, let me ask you really quick. Is there any tactics behind a PK save, or is it pretty much luck at that point of choosing the right direction? Is there anything tactically that's going on between the PK taker and the goalkeeper?
I mean, there's some scouting you can do in terms of different habits or different tells a player has, but it really is an instinctual thing at the end of the day. And I think Rakowski's proven over the course of the past month or so that he has that instinct. So you just got to trust your goalie at a certain point, and boy, did it turn out for Orange County.
Let me just say this. I will admit when I've been wrong with some of my stuff that I've said on here. I did mention I will go. We can replay the tape if I find it, but I won't find it obviously because it's in the middle of the show. But I did mention that I was worried about Rakowski in this playoff push because I felt like he didn't have the experience of U.S. playoff soccer. And boy, was I wrong. He was on fire throughout the playoffs, and it was a beautiful thing to see. Let me go to Tyler. When you saw that PK awarded to Tampa, what was going on through your mind as an Orange County fan, and what was your reaction when you saw that save?
So I tend to, like I'm sure many of you, get very emotional when things happen in sporting events I care about. I immediately screamed at my TV about how the call was a terrible call. Shouldn't have been awarded. And then they showed the slow-mo replay, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess that was the right call. And I was clenched the whole time, just kind of staring. And I think watching Rakowski make that save, I felt at that point, okay, we're going to play and we're going to get through this game and we're going to win. And I think that was a characteristic that we saw, not just from Rakowski, but from the entire team from August on, and especially in the playoffs, is that they refused to get rattled and they refused to just get frantic and lose their game plan on the field. They were calm and they were, focused the entire time. And we saw that, I think, most on that second goal in the game. Everyone hit their marks perfectly. But that PK especially Rakowski was focused and he made the right call. And earlier in the year, kind of like what you were saying, I had doubts about Rakowski. Like there were a lot of games where we gave up points late in the game and we left points on the table. And I felt a big part of that was because of him. But whatever happened, I think it was when Chaplow came in, he went to the next level and he became an elite defender for 3+ months. And I wouldn't have wanted anyone else, in the goal for us throughout the playoffs. And he proved that he was the right man for the job.
I want to say probably part of that confidence was Chaplow sort of made him like the number one guy. You gotta love that celebration from Rakowski too. You gotta love that heart and that emotion behind everything. But part of what you saw there is Rakowski. Earlier in the year, you had this sort of battle between him and Romero as who's going to be the man, and both of them were getting minutes. But that final run and that playoff run, it was Rakowski's job, and it shows he was informed there. Let me just admit, I spilled like half of an alcoholic drink on my wife watching the match at our house because when that save was made, I jumped off the couch. And because we've already decorated for the holidays, we no longer have a table in our living room. So we bought some cheap little automobile little things that you're supposed to put between your seat and the center console that hold your drink. For cars that don't have a center drink thing for some reason. I don't know what cars don't have a center drink holder. But when I jumped up off the seat, half of that drink spilled all over her. Did anyone else here spill any kind of drink, whether it was alcoholic or not, when that save was made? So no one's as messy as I am, apparently.
I'm just going to say this, Ray. I don't know if you guys ever see this. I usually carry my own sodas in because I don't like drinking what they sell at the stadium. And so I usually have to go to the bathroom a couple times during our games. I didn't drink it all before the game because I don't want to have to get up and go pee. So I didn't have anything in my hands the whole game because I was worried about missing a minute of it.
You learn so much on this podcast. You learn that Russell brings his own drinks in because he doesn't want to have to go to the bathroom. Or actually, he brings his own drinks in because he doesn't like the drinks at the stadium. And then he didn't drink at the stadium because he didn't want to have to go to the bathroom and miss a moment of action.
TMI.
But we did learn, I think on social media, we learned that you got to did you get to partake in any of the celebration with the players or anything after the match? I think Dylan did, obviously.
Yeah.
Russ was there. Russ was there. Yes.
Since this was done in a public forum, I don't feel bad about saying it. Oliver gave me a bottle of Patron at the hotel, and I'm about 100% certain that there was a second bottle of Patron given by Oliver to someone else, and I believe both bottles. Oh, did he give it to you?
Wait, Oliver
both
gave you
bottles-
a bottle, Dylan. He gave it to Dylan, of all people.
Yeah.
Look,
Are
think
pigs
both-
flying in this world? Are pigs
Yes.
flying when Oliver gives a bottle of Patron to Dylan?
So I believe both those bottles were filled, and as of that night on the 28th, I hadn't had any alcohol in 11 months. I broke the seal that night, and I put the seal back on the next morning.
Hey, you get for that moment as an OCSC fan, you can break the seal for a short moment if you have the willpower to hold off afterwards. Hey, for as much as fans tend to criticize some of Oliver's transactions, moves, decisions, he's an amazing person with the fans. I know there were a group of fans when Dylan and I went up to Reno and covered the match a few seasons back. He bought a round of drinks for the traveling fans and support. You know, he's at least really supportive of these fans that come out. And hey, he did it right this season. He built a championship roster and he made the right decisions throughout the season. Again, even though Dylan questioned the decision of the coaching change mid-season, it ended up being the right decision, right? So props to that. Hey, we haven't heard from you, Brad, in a while. Give us a thought in this. I don't care what the thought is. Just give us a thought.
It's still just absolute euphoria, you know? Just the whole night in of itself and all yesterday, I just couldn't stop smiling and getting to see the banter on Discord and Reddit. Just it's absolutely surreal. I just don't know what to say. That's why I don't have anything to say.
And I don't mean to gross anyone out, but I wore my blue Orange County shirt on Sunday and I kept it on all through Monday in celebration of it. I did clean myself off a little bit, but I wore the same shirt that I had wore the previous day. And then I've worn my Orange County scarf today to work. I'm milking this championship. It's awesome. Alan, a thought from you before we move on.
Yeah, I think I would make an argument that over the last month and a half of the season that Rakowski is the team's MVP. Adamas gets a lot of praise for what he does on the other side of the pitch for sure. But I think if you go back and look at some of those games, like against Phoenix at home, that kind of kicked off this win streak of winning 1-0. I think Rakowski puts in equally as good of a performance as Damas does. I was actually hoping he would get the final MVP. I thought without those two big saves, one of the first half, one of the second half, Damas's couple goals don't hold up. An average goalkeeper, maybe you don't save that penalty and you don't make that big save at the end, or one or the other, and all of a sudden Tampa's at 3-2 going into like the 88th minute, and at that point Orange County's on their heels, and Tampa Bay's the one on the attack. But I think what Rakowski was able to do was really calm the game down. Tampa Bay looked a little bit off. They weren't quite hitting the ball as squarely as you would normally assume for as good as Tampa Bay was. It felt like they maybe were a little bit tight, especially when they got punched in the mouth early. And then I don't think they ever really recovered. And I think Rakowski was a huge reason why Orange County was able to really land that first punch. And then to keep it at 3-1 late in the match, it really killed the game. He makes that big save and everyone's just like, ugh. Like that was the chance you had to get within one to force extra time. So we've seen what Tampa Bay was able to do against a good team like Louisville City. They were able to really attack heavily in the second half, and that was the difference. Orange County kind of withstood the attack thanks to Rakowski. Like I said, I thought he might have had a really good shout at being the game's MVP, but you can't fault Damas. I think especially if he gets that hat trick, that would have been so amazing. But I can't sing Rakowski's praises enough. I'm a big defensive central midfielder kind of goalkeeper kind of guy because they don't get as much love as they should. And Rakowski definitely is one of the big stars of this team.
Yeah, Alan's right. Offense usually gets more of the praise than the defense or goalkeepers will get, especially because there was the brace. I think if there's no brace, maybe there's an opportunity to see Rakowski with that award. We'll get into that because Alan actually brought up like 3 or 4 topics that I want to talk about in this. But we've built some good friendships, and we have more friends that send some messages to us. I've been drinking some bubbly here throughout this episode. I think I'm beating you, Alan. I don't know. Am I beating you? We'll see. But we have some more friends that sent some messages in, and let's see what they had to say.
Hey everyone, this is Alicia from Angels on Parade. I just wanted to send over a quick congratulations to Orange County SC for winning the USL Championship in 2021. Huge news. Obviously, congratulations to the club, the front office, the ownership, the players, of course, all the support staff who've been working behind the scenes. Congratulations to the fans for your support over the years. I know this has been a long time coming, so this is really great. Obviously, Orange and Black Soccer Cast, congrats to you. You guys have been pulling through this whole time, so it's really great to see. So congrats to everyone.
Hey there, Orange County. This is Aaron from Oakland Roots Blog. Congratulations on your title-winning run. To the team, you guys proved yourselves by several centimeters to be the best in the Pacific Division, and I think it was only inevitable at that point that you'd go on and take the title. You guys had a great season, a great playoff run. You should really enjoy it, but just know that next year the Oakland Roots are coming for you. And to the SoccerCast fellas, a great season for you too. We love listening to your podcast. We've had a great time when you've had us on. I hope we're talking soon. Obviously, if we don't talk this off season, we'll be talking again in the spring. And if you're ever in the Bay Area, let us know, and we'll have to go out and get a drink.
What's going on, Orange County SC fans, management, ownership, players? I'm Kaylor Hodges from the Hammering Down podcast, and I wanted to reach out to you guys and tell you just a massive congratulations on your amazing playoff run and your USL Finals championship. You know, you shocked the world, including myself, where I didn't think that you guys had a chance, and not only did you win it, you won it emphatically and asserted your dominance from the opening kick. I absolutely adore your club. I love the fans. I love watching you guys play. I think you're a brilliant club who absolutely deserves this win. You know, I am very, very happy for you all. So congratulations on not only being crowned the champions of USL, but being the best soccer club in Orange County. Thanks, guys, and congratulations.
So like I said, Alan brought up some like topics that I wanted to get into. And one of those topics is MVP. Ronaldo Damas, or man of the match, whatever we want to call it. Ronaldo Damas was the man, but there could be an argument made for maybe a couple of other players. One of them is Rakowski, but one of the ones that are stealth that I want to talk about. Does anyone know? It's Eric Calvillo. He was a big part of this victory for Orange County. He manned that midfield like no other. He played to the moment. He was ready for this. I saw like 3 or 4 heads nod, and I saw Dylan's head explode when I mentioned this. I'm going to go to John first because, again, you're the tactics guy. What kind of argument can be made for Eric Calvillo as the man of the match for this finals match for Orange County?
He was just absolutely crucial to every single thing that this team was trying to do tactically, and I think that was the case throughout the playoffs. To me, he was pretty much the clear MVP of this entire run. You saw him defensively pop up from the sort of number 10 midfield spot to really play alongside Damas in the press. And against a team like Tampa, who uses their center backs so effectively in their build-up play, that was paramount to preventing them from cutting down the middle. At the same time, he was able to pick his moments to sort of take a step back, take a more defensive approach, man mark Lawrence Wyke and Lewis Hilton, who really are 2 of the main creators that you get for Tampa Bay. And so you had that side of things, but then he was equally important driving offense. Whenever this Orange County got a stop, the center backs or the defensive midfielders intervened. They funneled the ball to him, where he was able to use some really underrated dribbling skills to progress into the midfield, drive play. He could link up with Iloski. He could sort of just try to get the ball up to Damas. He's got a very good sense of tempo, a very good sense of where the space is on the pitch. And when you combine all those things together, it really tore Tampa apart and was just key to what this Orange County side successfully pulled off.
Let me just jump to Brad really quick, because I can recall earlier in the season you mentioned that Calvillo sort of tends to do too much or over dribbles or something of that nature early in the season. Did something change in him that maybe changes your thoughts on what he brings to a club like Orange County?
Yeah, no, Calvillo had those tendencies when he was with Reno. He tended to hold on to the ball a little bit long, try to make one too many moves. And I don't know what the issue with that was, but it's very clear what he's being asked to do when he's with Orange County. He's being asked to start, once when the back line gives the ball up, he's the one who's tasked with bringing the ball through the midfield and distributing from there. And it's a role that he's kind of filled in very well with Orange County. So he's a completely different player from when I saw him up here in Reno. And, I agree with John. He's definitely one of the MVPs of the second half of the season for me.
So let me jump on. Andy, our producer, threw out the question on the live streams of who is your playoffs MVP. And we've had a lot of returns here. We've had Damas from Harry, Patrick from El Patron de Grayson. We got Miko also from El Patron. He's like throwing double there. Chad from the club is throwing out Kiernan with his 34 clearances. Got Miko. El Patron is throwing out like every single name on this roster. There's a lot of names that contribute to this. I'm going to go to some of our fans here. I'll give each of you a chance. So I'll go to Russell first. Who do you think? Do you agree with Ronaldo Damas as the man of the match, or is there another name on there that you feel deserved that award at the end of the final?
Ronaldo's a family favorite. We love him. I honestly had Rakowski as MVP man of the match. I got to meet his wife after the first kicks from the mark match, and she came up and introduced herself to me, which was surprising that she knew who I was as OC Soccer Dad. She told me that she really wanted to let me know that, Patrick really loved the support from CLC and from us. And I just thought that the way he played the first half, and I watched the whole first half right before this, the way he played the first half, he was very composed. He was very controlled. He took a bunch of shots, and that would not have allowed, without that, the team would not have been able to settle and do all the things that they did. So to me, it was Rakowski.
Tyler, do you have an alternate name, or do you agree with Rakowski as the man of the match?
I like Rakowski as the man of the match. If I had to choose someone different, I would probably go with Miko. The first game I went to at Championship Stadium, Miko stood out to me, and he was instantly like a favorite player of mine. But I think Miko brings a lot to the pitch that won't necessarily show up in a score line. He has this great tendency to be able to get under the skin of the other players, and it's so fun to watch. And he's just an imposing presence in the midfield. And that second goal in the buildup, when Calvillo passed it to him, he instantly drew a 2-on-1 because they knew that he could cause damage, which then allowed him to pass the ball forward and get the goal. And then that strike he had from the free kick was it was a cap to a perfect first half. And it's so rare to see a player take a kick like that instead of trying to lob it and feed it to another player. So to have him in the championship game decide he was going to take that strike was incredibly gutsy. And the fact that it paid off, it just made me love him even more. So if I had to pick someone other than Damas or Rakowski, it'd probably be Miko.
And let's just say this, right? As much as we, as much as Orange County fans loved Aiden Quinn with the club, I think Miko is a really good replacement for Aiden Quinn on this roster with that good left kick. He's taken the free kicks that Aiden Quinn may have taken in the past. I know Dylan's throwing the hand up like, stop.
Yeah, you got to slow down on that one, man. They're very, very, very different players. Mad respect to Miko and his left foot, but He's got a couple years before he hits he's hit club legend. He's lifted the cup, but he's got a couple years before he hits that Aiden Quinn level of I'm the best GD midfielder in this league.
Okay,
And,
I want to talk a little bit about Aiden Quinn here in a little bit, but I have to ask. I got to go to John really quick because I want to find out who he is looking at the whole match. Is Damas the man of the match, or do you have a different opinion on that?
I mean, you have to shout out Rakowski. You have to shout out Cavillo. You do have to lean Damas at the end of the day. I'll have a video coming out in the next day or two just talking about the role he played. There was an instance, maybe second half, where Tampa was building up, doing their thing in the middle. Out of nowhere, Damas just comes, applies the hardest back pressure you're ever going to see, and wins the ball back for this side. And then, I mean, they're able to just drive into attack, hold up the ball, play their game for a little bit more to choke this result out. And for me, that shows just as much as the goals did. Damas is such a hard worker, and I think that goes under the radar when he's only getting a handful of touches in a match in that sort of poacher role, and you can maybe underestimate the holistic value he brings to this side. I do the sort of math thing where I do like a goals above replacement model, and he ranks in like the 95th, 90-somethingth percentile because of everything he brings to the table. It's not just the finishing, it's really a complete game, and he's a special player.
So let's talk about this. The league has recently sent out their voting for a bunch of stuff, and one of those is save of the playoffs. And Rakowski's PK save is the nominee, but I feel like the other save he made in the match in live play was the bigger save in this match, because I think Tampa Bay was on a little bit of a run. They were building some momentum, and he made a goal line save, an amazing save. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to let whoever wants to speak first speak. Can an argument be made that the other save Rakowski made should be the one that's up there for save of the playoffs?
I'm going to jump in early, and I'm going to say no, because there was a PK save a couple weeks ago. There was a PK save on Sunday. Honestly, if the Rowdies score that first goal, this one's over in the 20th minute. They sit back. They get to just hang out. They get to do their thing. I know that everyone on Twitter has had a right go at Forrest Lasso in the last 2 weeks because he's unfortunately scored an own goal and he's had an absolute stinker. But he's good. That is a damn good team. This is definitely not an episode for your kids. Sorry. They would have been just coasting. They would have been right where they wanted to be. It has to be, just in the context of this game, it has to be that PK save because, like Mike Watts said, he deflated Al Lang Stadium. It got quiet because we were able to, just yell our throats out and take over that whole section. And I think that was what gave Orange County some confidence. That's what bailed Kevin Alston out there, and Kevin Alston balled out for the rest of the game. I think at that point, you don't concede from a PK, and that's 0.75 XG or something. You're not supposed to do that. You're really not supposed to do that, and everyone gets a lift from that, and he was living that up, and I think everyone else was too, and wow, oh my God. It has to be that PK save. As impressive as the other one was, because honestly, if Lucky scores that goal, that goes offside, it's game over and the Rowdies take that one too.
I think I see Alan trying to turn his mic on here to speak, but I want to ask, Alan, are you on my side on this? Is that second big save from Rakowski?
No.
Oh.
Does
anyone have my back on this? Really quick.
No,
I'll let you
no
talk,
one does.
Alan, but does anyone have my back?
Nope. No one believes you, Ray.
I think Russell does. He gave a thumbs up on that. Go, Alan, talk.
I just think, Tampa Bay was already a little bit pressing. I don't think they were playing to their peak abilities. And I think that one save.
Wait. Hold on. What was that word you just said?
Peak abilities?
Peak abilities. All right. We're going to look that up on the Merriam
abilities. No, it's two words. Peak
okay.
abilities. They weren't at the top of their abilities. And I think
I
there
thought you
were
were like doing like rockabilly like style, like
God,
peekabilly.
no. But I love me some Buddy Holly.
Cool
Anyway,
down on the champagne there, Ray.
Moving on. I think Tampa Bay was already pressing a little bit, and I think that just makes them like tense up even more, and the crowd tense, and then the players weren't. I mean, like I said, like they had open looks that, on any other given day, they're curling some of those into the corner. They're slotting those in, but after that save, you can tell that they were playing just even more tense. And then that starts the snowball effect of making really poor decisions and terrible touches and not looking up before you play the ball across your box, which, like, I've watched enough hockey to know that you don't pass across your crease from defender to defender. Like, it's just not something you do. And in soccer, when Damas is on the pitch, you need to know where he is all the time. You don't make a sideways pass into the path of Damas or anywhere close to Damas, because it'll be a magnet to him and he will just somehow put the ball in the back of the net, because that kid is crazy about just flinging his foot at the ball and it going in. That's like the second goal. Like, most players probably don't even score that second goal, but he's just so quick and decisive and just like, I'm shooting it, I'm going to score. And that second goal goes in because it's Damas. That's what he does. So the first
Russell,
save.
Go ahead, Alan. Finish your thought.
I was going to say the first save sets all that up.
All right, Russell, I need some help on here. That second save, that's a key part of this match, right? That's probably the more impressive save.
It was, and I looked at that one, and it's easy enough to sit and watch from the seats or your screen and say, oh yeah, it was right at you. But there was a lot of power on that shot, and also being able to stay home and be composed and not try to flail. I mean, you can't, understate, the composure when that ball's coming and you're planted and being ready to go. So I'm with you on that.
Awesome. Tyler, your thoughts? First goal for PK save or that second big save from Murkowski?
Yeah, sorry to leave you hanging, Ray, but it's got to be the first one. It was like Dylan said, like, that doesn't happen. And the fact that he was able to do that, I think it showed that this team, again, was calm and focused and they weren't going to get rattled. And then they were able to do that to the Rowdies at their home pitch, which, I mean, I've watched that first goal that came shortly after it, and I'm just like, I have no idea what Arozarena was doing. Like, I can't figure out why he was where he was. Like, it didn't make any sense. And I think that's a direct result of, oh wow, this team knows what they're doing. We actually have to like take them seriously, because all leading up to the match, like, no one was taking Orange County seriously. That PK shows like, no, we're here to win, and it caught him on their flat foot, and then we took the lead and didn't look back.
All right, El Patron, I will move on from this. And Tyler actually sort of progressed to what I want to talk about here, but I want to, again, allow our friends to say their piece. And we had Harry sent in something a little bit longer than what is normal. I know our producer is throwing up like some graphics from the game, but Harry from SA Soccer Roundtable sent in a message to us. Here's what Harry had to say.
I want to say congratulations to Orange County Soccer Club for winning the USL Championship for this year and earning that first star. Also want to say congratulations to Orange and Black Soccer Cast, Ray, Dylan, Alan, and Bradley. You guys have done a great job for many, many years, especially with Ray and Dylan. Alan's done 3-4 years as well, and Bradley came on this year here. What makes me most excited about OCSC winning is just how great of a club it has showed in its 11 years of history. Some good, some bad, but 11 years in lower league soccer here in the United States, and to be rewarded with the title is outstanding. One thing to keep in mind, next year you will be the hunted. So look forward to that. Like I said here, thank you for doing that, and I'll open up 805, which is a California beer. Cheers to you guys. Look forward to your show tonight. And like I said here, congratulations once again from San Antonio Soccer Roundtable. Sucks that we didn't get the win in PKs, but you guys did, and you guys brought it home. So congratulations to that, and I would be remiss if I did not say thank you to Andy as well, who I know does some work behind the scenes, and if there's anybody else for that. And also would be remiss to not mention the families, Ray, Dylan, Alan, and Bradley. The support you get from the families to be able to invest the time into the podcast is well worth it. And obviously to the players of Orange County, congrats, and USL West is the best. We keep telling people. Thank you. Have a great night, guys. Good show.
Yes, USL West is the best. Although I want to say, Harry, you're drinking a San Diego brew, not an Orange County brew there. But
is that an? You sure about that one? I'm pretty sure that's the Central California beer.
Is it 805? I don't know.
Yeah. I know the 805 freeway is in San Diego. I am drinking a San Diego beer.
It's the 805 area code, not the freeway.
Yeah. See, Russell knows what's up. He and John are the smart man on the podcast, and probably Tyler too.
About beer, but it's still not Orange County beer. That's all I got to say there. It's not Orange County beer.
Hey, you don't have to know anything about it. It just has to taste good and get you drunk. And it accomplishes one of those things.
When Harry was on, I was drinking Shiner beer, which I know is like an hour and a half outside of San Antonio. Let's talk about this goalkeeper for Tampa Bay. Second start of the season, I believe, or 2 starts in the season, maybe the third. I don't know, John, let me know. Am I wrong here? You know more about Tampa Bay than any of us. How much of an impact did the goalkeeper for Tampa Bay have in this match?
Yeah, so second start of the year for him, as far as I know. He got one late in the season where they were just sort of rotating players, I think, against Miami, if I'm not wrong. But he's really not played much professional soccer in the past 3 years or so. And everything you heard behind the scenes from people involved with Tampa, they were really confident in what he was going to bring to the table. He's regarded as a really good shot stopper. And I think you saw the flip side of that, where there was that mistake on the ball that really cost him at the end of the day. I do think that there is something to having that consistency in goal. Loro didn't miss a minute, essentially, other than that game where they gave him a rest. And just having that rapport with your back line, knowing, not even in a defensive sense, but knowing where that outlet pass is. I'm just thinking about that first Thomas goal. That's something you lack without the chemistry that you develop over the course of a season. So he could be the most talented shot stopper in the world, and it doesn't change the fact that you need to be playing with people on a consistent basis. And I think that really cost Tampa here.
Is there any excuse, and this is for anyone, jump in. Is there any excuse for the positioning on that first goal? Because I was looking at that. I think Dylan jumped in first. I was looking at that. We were watching live here, and my wife said, what the heck is the goalkeeper doing? And I'm like, the only thing I can think of is he's trying to give his defender a clear path to pass him the ball. Dylan, go for it.
Yeah. There's a great reason. I don't know if that picture can be pulled up. And if you're listening to the podcast, bring it up, go and watch. But look at where he is. He is in a position where if the ball takes a bobble, which knowing that pitch it was going to take a bobble, you can look at it before Damas strikes it towards goal. It's bouncing. If it bobbles over his foot, it's just a corner. It's not an own goal. He's in a position where if he is somehow dispossessed by the press here, that it's almost impossible to score. He's maybe a yard or two further out wide than he needs to be, but he's in a really good spot. And then it also cuts down the actual distance the ball has to travel there. you just don't make that pass. It was weak as a pass that's going to go across the box. And so it's not on him for not predicting a horrific pass. I mean, maybe one of the worst or best assists, depending on how you look at it, depending on what frame of reference you have here or who you're rooting for in this match. But you never expect that pass as a goalkeeper, and you should. He's in a great place, because even if ball takes a bobble there and he whacks it poorly, it's not going to go into his own goal. And in 20 minutes into a game, you're just going to be a little bit conservative there.
I'm going to talk to Russell next, because Russell and I have talked about coaching youth soccer. Is there any reason why you pass it as a defender in front of the goal like that?
No, there's not. And, you know, you can have a lot of talent and a lot of skill, but when you're playing a 3-man line, you don't have that kind of luxury. It's just there's whether it's square, whether it's an angle, whatever, there's no reason to do that, because you're better off taking the challenge and hoping that Lasso pivots to come support you than trying to move the ball back over that way. And the other thing I'll tell you is, you know, what's his, I can't pronounce his last name.
Arozarena?
Arozarena, thank you. I want to say Arozarena, and I knew that was wrong. I'm sorry. It's my, early onset Alzheimer's. If he wanted to come that far off frame, he should have also been further up. But if you're going to be that far off frame and you're, basically a yard off the goal line, you can't do anything from that position other than to potentially keep it from being a corner kick. But that shouldn't be your priority to prevent a corner kick. Your first priority is to prevent the goal from being scored. So I just, there's so many errors in that situation in my mind, that the only way I could defend his positioning would have been if he would have been a field player that put on a penny because all their keepers were gone. From a youth soccer perspective, Ray.
I feel like Alan has a little bit of a different opinion from his facial expressions. For those of you watching the live stream here, go Dylan, go Alan.
John, you're correct. It was the 20th of October against Miami, where he made a total of 0 goalkeeper saves in a 3-0 victory against Miami at home. I think when you're running a 3-man back line, I think if you like Lasso's in that center position, there's no need for the goalkeeper to also stay in that center position. I think especially when you're dealing with a press like Damas, I think that positioning does give you that quick outlet, and then his job is just to boot that ball. Like I don't think in that situation, I think that's the proper positioning for him. I think he's probably been told to go to that position because he moves there relatively quickly. So I think that's been the instruction to him, is in the 3-man back line, if it goes outright, you are to move to this position to be able to be a quick outlet if Damas is pressing. I don't think he looks up. I think he puts the ball where Lasso should have been, or where he thought he was, not realizing that Damas was going to beat him to that ball. I think that's a proper goalkeeper positioning. I don't think the first goal or second goal are necessarily on the keeper. And the third goal, maybe he sets his wall up a little too far to the left, but essentially Miko Kaningas hits the perfect shot, like hugs inside of that post. And at that point, I think we've seen Orange County do this enough that sometimes you set it up perfectly and you just get beat by a better free kick. And that was that third goal was just, it was a perfect shot. You can set up a wall as much as you want, but he puts it around the wall. It's crazy. John, you feel like you have something to say?
No, that was a great goal from Miko, but I want to go to John really quick. Your tactics analysis of that first goal where Arozarena is sort of out of position maybe, or was he not? Was he in the right position for that? Go, John.
No, I think the point about, there was so much intention to the way that he sort of showed himself to make himself available for a pass, where I don't think he's making that decision without some guidance from the coaching staff of, hey, if you're getting pressed high in this scenario, slide out, make yourself available. And for whatever reason, some wires got crossed and it didn't work out in that example. I do think you have to credit Orange County for the amount of pressure that they were putting on. That's something that you've not necessarily seen from this side in previous matches. And I think it probably caught Tampa a bit unprepared, especially with a goalie who's barely played. I mean, he at that point in 110 minutes over the course of the whole year. So
tactical analysis of that goal. Brad, haven't heard from you for a while. I'm done with my drinks, by the way. Sorry, I beat you, Alan. Goal of the match. Which was the best goal from Orange County in this match? The first, second, or third?
I mean, does anybody doubt Mikko Kaningas' brilliant strike there? It's just the most beautiful. It's not the most significant, because 2 goals would have been enough according to the scoreline. But, a third goal right before half, that's like a dagger.
It is a dagger. It is a very big dagger because we saw the week before Tampa Bay came back from 2-0 to win the match with a crazy last-ditch effort from Lucky Mkasana. Let me go to Tyler. We haven't heard from you in a while. How big was that Mikko Kaningas free kick? And how excited as a fan were you when you saw that go into the back of the net? We saw Russell. Russell was excited. He was throwing up his scarf there on the stream. But how excited were you?
I was stunned. I didn't scream out. I was just slack-jawed at the fact that we were going into the locker room up 3-0, and the free kick came from Mikko, who, like I said, has been one of my favorite players. I really like that goal. My favorite, I think, was the second goal. I just think the build-up between Calvillo, Mikko, and Damas was just perfectly executed, and it was some of the prettiest soccer, I guess you could say, that I've seen from Orange County all season. And just seeing them thread the ball through so many defenders and get in a position where Damas could finish, it was great. And then to cap it off with Mikko's strike, which it reminded me of that terrible goal that Zlatan scored against LAFC in his first year. It was just a powerful kick that no one was going to stop. It was brilliant.
Can we just say, though, that Kaningas goal, I mean, that was sort of the confidence builder for Orange County fans because, again, we had seen Tampa Bay come back from 2-0 down against Louisville the previous week. So you knew that third goal was a huge, huge boost for Orange County. Dylan, you were at the stadium when Kaningas scored that third goal. Was there confidence in that group that you were with there from Orange County?
Oh, absolutely. At 2-0, I was thinking, okay, this is the quote unquote, the stereotypical, this is the most dangerous lead that you can have as a team. And then he just puts that one in the back of the net. And credit to Rosarena, because I don't think he got nearly as much time as he probably should have had to organize his wall. Or maybe he was just a little bit slow. Honestly, it's really hard for me to remember. And he nearly gets to it. He gets a hand on it, and it's just not quite enough. So kudos to him on that one. And that's why I think this game isn't all on him. But, oh, my God. Wow. At 3-0 up, I'm thinking there's no chance. If we hold them in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the second half, there's no chance they come back because it's just too big of a deficit. And that was exactly what happened. We held them for a little bit, and it was enough to see us through.
And we see there in the second half, that third goal was a big part of it because Tampa Bay came up pretty quick and scored a first goal in that second half and made things a little bit scary for Orange County. But having that extra goal there right before the end of the first half was very beneficial. Before we talk more, we had one more friend that sent us a video, and the award for the longest submission goes to this man, Edson Ochoa from down in the valley. So we're going to play what he had to say about this match. Edson, go for it.
Good evening to everybody out there in the West Coast, specifically Orange County. My name is Edson Ochoa. I'm the co-host of the Down in the Valley podcast covering the RGVFC Toros. And I wanted to take the time to congratulate everybody at the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, as well as the Orange County SC fan base in general, for a well-deserved trophy to culminate the 2021 season against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. I think it was really well-deserved. I know not a lot of people had the expectation that Orange County was going to win, period, and much less in the fashion that it was won. There was no doubt. There left no doubts that Orange County was the better team. And not only that, we also did it at Al Lang Stadium. So that is a good performance on its own. And so, good evening, everybody. Greetings to everybody out in the West Coast, specifically Orange County, California. Greetings from magical Rio Grande Valley, Texas. My name is Edson Ochoa, and I am the co-host of the Down in the Valley podcast covering the RGVFC Photos. And today I just want to take the time to congratulate everybody at the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, as well as the Orange SC fan base, Orange County SC fan base. Good evening, everybody. Greetings from the magical Rio Grande Valley.
Oh man, I'm so sorry. I did not view your video before I made the video. Oh, but yeah, it's all good. Hey, Orange County won. Anything else to say about that? I don't know. Go for it.
3, 2, 1. What I think it. I'm sorry. 3, 2, 1.
Greetings.
Good evening.
We love you, Edson, and much appreciated.
We do.
We're just far too drunk to take this well at this point.
Speak for yourself.
Hey, Alan, I beat you. Sorry. I'm done. You got to catch up. John, take over the episode here, man. I'm done.
Hey, shout out to Edson, at least. I've been on that pod a couple times. Love him. Love the contribution. I think I might be the only sober one here.
Oh, I'm stone cold sober, John. But my wife.
You and Russell have got this, man. Because
I will
Russell's
tell you this,
just
my
not
wife,
drinking until the next championship, and John is sad because Tampa Bay lost.
I'll toast some water to that.
My wife did give me a shameless plug beer here. I know you guys all hate this, but because he's one of my good friends, I'll just, I'm not going to open it.
Party here. Let me just ask this. Dylan, Russell, you were there at the match. Field conditions. Was it as bad as it looked like on the stream?
Ask this guy, because I was like...
Yeah. Russell was like
on
the pitch. Dylan was like in the nosebleed,
which is directly across the street. And so the first day we got there, we walked over Friday afternoon and looked at it. Nobody practiced on it on Friday or Saturday or Sunday. It was roped off. Nobody was allowed to walk on it. And I'm just going to call BS on, the pitch was terrible. Number one, it's not by a long shot the worst pitch in the USL, by a long shot. Number two, keep in mind the USL headquarters are in Tampa, and they were very intimately involved with the production of this game, and it was an important game. So, the quality of the pitch can not only be attributed to Tampa, but the USL. And third, both teams played on it. So I just don't want to hear, if the pitch would have been better or blah, blah, blah. Well, we found a way to win on the same pitch that Tampa found a way to lose on. So there you go.
Dylan, you were nodding your head at something that was said. What's your thought? Yeah,
there are times in our season that our pitch was worse than Al Lang. That's not a good reason for why Tampa Bay lost this match. I said before the game to a certain reporter from Phoenix that you play this game 10 or 100 times, and I'm not sure what the result would be, but I wasn't super optimistic about Orange County winning 3-1. Actually, let me put it this way. I basically thought there was no chance Orange County would win this match 3-1 with an XG of basically the inverse of that against a Tampa Bay side. It's not down to the pitch here. It's solely down to Orange County taking its chances, Orange County inviting Tampa Bay further and further and further forward with some incredible defense, and then just hitting them on the break. It was this was the most beautiful parking the bus I've seen us do in Orange County history.
Can I ask you really quick, because there was rumors that there was a group of fans in front of the Orange County supporters that wasn't enjoying the celebration going on, and there are rumors that Mr. Dillon jumped down and on one of those goals celebrated in the face of these supporters. Dillon, are these rumors true?
I don't know if you could call them supporters as much of like a retired Florida snowbird couple who
I'm
were
saying
not
the supporters
pleased.
were you guys, were Orange County supporters.
Yes, we were supporters. That is very true. A rather a more mature couple was in front of us, and they weren't really having it with a "Come on, County" chant that we were doing, and they weren't super jazzed. And so after the third goal or the second goal, I honestly can't remember. I had a lot to drink. So my apologies.
They threw
But
beer at you guys.
yeah, so some beer and water was tossed, and not by me, in our section, and apparently landed on some people. And I think it might have landed on him, and he turned around with his bottle and just started throwing beer up at us. The problem was there were some like 10-year-olds 3 rows down from us, so they were the ones getting most of it, and I was getting some of it. And because I can't resist a good chance to wind someone up, I went right down into his face and started celebrating, because, as probably all of you have already figured out, I'm kind of an asshole. So
I heard that these Tampa fans were also like asking some of the, I guess, family members of some of the players, do you approve of this? And apparently it's like, yeah, I don't care. It's
yeah. You think Michael Orozco's dad cares when Michael Orozco is putting in that kind of performance in a league final? Absolutely not. Or Ronaldo Damas's dad, who had appeared out of nowhere with a Haitian flag and was saying, "That's my son! That's my son!" and then celebrating us when he scored. Or Eric Calvillo's dad, who was ecstatic to be there. No. I mean, apologies to the random people that got a little bit of beer on them from us and from that dude, but I had to wind him up. It was too fun.
Let me just say this, right? It's like opposing teams should know if there's traveling fans, they're going to be a little bit excessive, a little bit wild.
We're gonna be a little drunk. I mean, the home fans invited us to a tailgate, and there were Jello shots. Yes. So discounting the pregame trip to a pub across the street, it was already on some uneven footing. And
at least it wasn't Malort. At least it wasn't Malort that those Reno fans give their traveling fans.
That is nasty.
But,
yeah, Dylan,
why would you sit traveling fans in a general section with grandparents and kids trying to enjoy a family night out? I feel like I don't know why I'm looking at John, and John looks like he's like shocked at some of this, what we're talking about here. But I'm sure John understands all this.
You ruined his drive back to the Villages, Dylan. So those of you who know Florida know.
Good.
Yeah. I want to share a little data on Tampa's ticketing sales. I talked to multiple people from the office before I wound up being able to have the seats that I had, and I wanted to get the best possible seats because that's where I like to sit, and that's the way it is. And they said, "Oh, there's not a single ticket left for this game." On the day of the game, in the early part of the day, we were out and about, and there was a table with a Easy Up set up, and the ticket people were promoting buying tickets to the game because as of 11 a.m., they said there was still 500 seats available for the game. So I'm not sure how the Tampa Bay Rowdies ticket office works, but it's certainly not the way the SD Loyal ticket office works, and it's certainly not the way the OC ticket office works, because they were very intent on trying to compartmentalize our fans, and that was what they did. And so, when I first called the office, had I said, "Oh, I'm thinking about buying Rowdy Coin in 2022," I'm sure I would have been able to have my pick of the seats.
What the hell is Rowdy Coin?
It's their 10-pack of tickets. I don't know. I have a lot of time in the day when I'm on Zoom calls to, do research in parallel to work. But that's how they've branded their 10 packs as Rowdy Coin.
Is that how it works when you're on a Zoom call? You go and start searching about Rowdy Coin. John,
I was trying to order my tickets
with
last
these Tampa Bay
week.
Rowdies. Is Rowdy Coin like some sort of Bitcoin that Rowdies are doing there, man? What's going on, John?
It's just a bit of unfortunate branding for the ticket package. Like,
don't
hop on the trend.
Not trying to get you in trouble, John. Not trying to get you in trouble.
Oh yeah. I mean, listen, I'm job over at this point, just one season thing, so I can speak my mind, but like, don't jump on the Bitcoin train. Come on.
Oh
no, it's clearly Dogecoin to the moon or whatever they're saying.
I'm in hand.
It's Lunacoin. This is USL, so it's Lunacoins to the moon.
Tyler, your thoughts on all this craziness? You've never been on our podcast. We get crazy at this point of the podcast.
No, I love it. I'm mainly my main sport that I follow is baseball, and I follow the Cleveland Guardians. So I don't have like a community of fans that I can like interact with like on a local level. So it's so fun to be able to hear about this, the stories from Florida. I wish I could have gone. But yeah, we earned it as fans. We get to celebrate and get crazy. Who cares? We on Reddit, our flares are unfaded, and that's not an experience I have very often. So savor it.
Dylan's excited about that statement there. Alan, Brad, do you have anything to throw in here before we start wrapping things up here for this episode of the podcast?
My random thought tonight is
no, we're not doing random thoughts yet, Alan. Not random thoughts yet.
I know. I'm just trying to speed this thing up because Andy's like posting in the chat that we're like at it, whatever. People just watch this. I wish that we can put like please listen to this podcast at double speed at the beginning of the podcast, like just letting people know this is going to be a long one. They already know, they're downloading it. It's an hour and a half.
This is a party celebrating the championship. This is going to be a long episode. This isn't a regular episode of the Orange and Black Soccer Cast.
Wait,
although I know John, it's like
episode?
an hour and a half past John's bedtime there on the East Coast, but who cares?
It's an hour and a half past my bedtime.
Yeah, I caffeinated. I'm good.
John prepared for this episode. All of us should be ready for this. We're on the West Coast. We're in normal time. John's in like future time. Any last thoughts about this match and about this party?
Last thought about the final in general is it's always interesting to pay attention to the people who aren't fans of the two teams and how they react to teams winning or not winning championships. And I'm not here to tell anyone how to fan or anything, but just there's a lot of nuance to how people fan, and some people can be like, Orange County sucks and I hate them forever and will never congratulate them. But also realize like this is the USL, man. Like we're watching second division soccer. Like there's some really cool people out there who like other teams, and when their teams win, we should be happy for them because they're like having a great time. So let's party along with them. Like my team lost a long time ago. So we can party with the people who are having a good time. We can congratulate them on, fanning a team that's been around for a very long time, finally winning their first championship in a way that they're not a MLS 2 side, and they're trying to do it the right way with supporting, developing youth in their community, and trying to build like a full team instead of a list of names. And we want to celebrate those things. Like this isn't LA Galaxy 2 winning. This isn't Real Monarchs winning. This is like a stalwart of the USL, like finally getting their first star. And I think fans of the USL can get behind a team like Orange County getting their first star. And I think more people should do that. And the rivalries can continue when the season starts again. We can hate each other later. But right now, let's celebrate a team doing it the right way.
And the proof is on what we got. Like we sent out a message. Hey, anyone want to share some love to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, the podcast, and we had responses from all over the world. We had responses from Scotland, for Christ's sakes, right? It's people coming in and saying, hey, congratulations. We love this. And keep doing it. Dylan, you got your hand up for some reason.
Yeah, in case it's like a lecture, you never pay attention to the chat, so I wanted to say anything.
Tony Gwynn?
Tony Gwynn, rest in peace. Man was a killer baseball player. To echo what Alan said, yeah, I kind of hoped we'd be a little bit nicer to some other opposing fans, but I also understand when you constantly see the stuff that is talked to us week in and week out and week in and week out and week in and week out for 35 weeks, or 40 weeks a season, or 40 weeks a year. I kind of understand. But beyond that, I know it was right after Thanksgiving, and it was really hard for people to get there. Those of us that went there spent far too much money. Russ got some nice seats. I can't even imagine what those cost him. I don't even want to think about what those cost him for the rest of that trip. But those of you that were at home watching, those of you that were at Left Coast watching, I swear we felt your energy, and I swear I had a second wind from 85 to 95 of my voice felt fresh again. I was full of energy and not full of booze, and just full of hope that we would pull it out and we would win 3-1 and we would get that first star above our crest. And so just thank you to everyone who got involved or tweeted or got on Instagram or Facebook or whatever nonsense. Anyone who cared about this game, I swear we felt your energy in the stadium. I swear the players felt it. And the thanks that were given to us for being there, from the coaching staff, from the front office, from Pete Nugent, who works in recruitment, from Oliver, from James, from all of the players, it means the absolute world. And wow, I can't wait to see you all, hopefully, when we get to party with the cup in a couple weeks. And if not that, then I can't wait to see all of you when we start playing in just a couple months, because that was something special. Oh, also big shout out to the Tampa Bay fans, because with all but one person, you were incredible. You were very kind and welcoming and hospitable, and that was really cool to see. And the Jello shots were well appreciated.
And again, that's what we love about the sport, right? About this league is the camaraderie from a lot of the fans in different cities around the country, which is awesome. Any last thoughts about Orange County's championship, this match, before we get to our random thoughts of the episode?
I have to.
I got one. Can I do it real quick?
Yeah.
Go, Brad.
All right. So, not necessarily about the match, but man, these next couple weeks are going to be very interesting with off season. I can't fathom just with all these two teams that are going to be leaving, a couple teams that are going to be coming in. You're probably going to see a East-West realignment. There's going to be a lot to talk about in the next couple weeks, and we're only 3 months away from starting it all over again.
Welcome back, Kansas City. I think, Russell, you were trying to say something?
Yeah, two things. One, I want to thank the fans sitting behind us for the vocabulary lesson for my kids, because now, based on the slur they use to describe Miko, my kids know what the word cunnilingus means. So thank you for that. My wife had to yell at them, and they actually apologized. My wife's a middle school teacher. So that's one thing. I thought that would get a laugh. And then, the second thing I just want to point out is there's going to be a lot of changes to this team. So any chance you get to engage with these players, take it while it's available, because lots of stuff's at foot. And in particular, there's people playing on national teams, people doing other things. So I'm just going to give a shout out to the first person to drink a shot of tequila with me, who was Eric Calvillo. He'll be playing December 11th for El Salvador at Bank of California Stadium. So, if you have the means, go out there, take some Orange County stuff, and support him in El Salvador.
Yes. Big part of this championship, Eric Calvillo. Support him as he continues his career as a soccer player. Any last thoughts
oh.
before random thoughts? Dylan,
Yeah.
go.
I know I already went, but to piggyback off of Russ really quick, because I never have original ideas. Every single player that was a part of this team this year is now a club legend. And that even means effing Tommy McCabe and all of his mistakes early this year and why he has that nickname. It doesn't matter. He improved massively. Ronaldo improved massively. They're all club legends. I mean, they all lifted the cup. We won the cup. We won the cup. That is my last thing.
The McCabe, red the McCabe jersey on the live stream. Is it autographed? It's autographed, right?
It's autographed. Look at that.
Woo!
Sweet.
That's some fighting Irish right there.
So exciting. The cup belongs to Orange County for this year. I don't care what happens next season. This is a big part of Orange County Soccer Club's history. Let's get to our random thoughts. And we'll start with, I'm going to go random. Let's go to Alan. Alan, random thought.
Pistachios are delicious.
Brad, random thought.
Oh man, I got my play coming up this weekend, and boy, is it stressful.
You got to make sure there's some sort of video of this play so we can share with all of our listeners the magic that comes out of Brad's mouth in this play. Dylan, random thought.
I am full of love and alcohol, but especially love for everyone this season, everyone who's listened, everyone who's said hi at a game, or talked trash on the internet, or supported the club in any way. I'm full of love for all of those people. And big shout out to the Pro 2 refs for just agreeing to do their fun union stuff. And I look forward to what improved training and improved experiences for them looks like, because I know what it will truly mean is that it will be an improved game day experience for all of us. So good luck to them, and they deserve it, because God knows we complain enough about the refs on this podcast, and everyone else complains enough about the refs on their podcast. They could maybe deserve a nicer hotel room and a nicer flight out to wherever they're going, and some more pay and some more training, because they deserve it.
John, since you know about random thoughts, you go next.
Yeah, we're getting up to the Hanukkah season, so shout out to latkes, just as a thing. Make some, buy some, get yourself some latkes.
Are you Jewish?
No.
Oh.
Tonight is the third night of Hanukkah. If you're watching
it
live.
started on Sunday.
Brad, what have you gotten so far for Hanukkah?
I got myself a tablet.
There you go. Tyler, random thought from you.
So happy that we get to celebrate this championship, because it's looking like there's going to be an extended lockout for Major League Baseball, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Russell, random thought.
I'm going to go for two. Number one, today is Giving Tuesday. I know that a lot of people do a lot of things. My thing this month was Movember. That's why I'm sporting this beautiful mo that'll be back to a goatee, actually technically a Van Dyke, starting tomorrow. But please, consider how you can support, your favorite or multiple charities. And then the second thing, Ray, you mentioned something about some of the things I say earlier. I just want to publicly say sorry to Courtney Ford for something I yelled at him during a previous match. I did some research on him, and he's, quite a fine young man, supporting his mother the way he does. And I, owe him a little note privately for what I said to him. But I just want to give him a shout out for what he's doing to take care of his mom.
Props to that. I want to say, I appreciate the American Airlines staff that put up with all the noise that Orange County fans were making at the John Wayne Airport terminal when the club landed and came down the escalators. Especially, there were some members ringing a cowbell and blowing a, not a trumpet, but whatever, the bugle or whatever the hell that thing is, making a lot of noise in the airport baggage claim. Appreciate y'all letting us do that. It was fun. And I got to hold the cup, and I know our producer Andy got to hold the cup, and a few other fans got to hold the cup, which was pretty amazing. So thank you for that. Thank you for all of the listeners that have listened to us throughout the season, throughout the years. and for all of our friends that sent in some great messages. And again, sorry, Edson, for not reviewing your video before we posted it. I apologize for that. But thank you, everyone. For Dylan, for Alan, for John, for Brad, for Tyler, for Russell, for Andy, our producer. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, the podcast of champions, and we are out.
I want to say I'm here, Captain Michael from Orange County. We put in work the whole season. Nobody believed in us, but look, we're here, rising the trophy. Okay, we had to come all the way to Tampa, prove our point. It's only the beginning. Okay, so watch out. Orange County's on the way.
Almost heaven, Orange County, Saddleback Mountain, Santa Ana River. Life is new here, fresher than the breeze, close to the mountains, sweetheart to the beach. County roads take me home to the place I belong. Orange County, soccer mama, take me home. County road, all my memories gather round us. The coalition of strangers to good soccer, dark and dusty, the days you see I hear beneath the moonlight, our voices lifted high. County roads take me home to the place I belong. Orange County, soccer mama, take me home. County road, they'll hear our voices, the hours that we're singing. Follow them forever, nothing's too far away. Driving down that road, I get a feeling that we're much better than we were yesterday. Yesterday, county roads take me home to the place I belong. Orange County, soccer mama, take me home.